Hi, are you looking to get more sales and more leads from your website? Let's take a look at a real case study. This is an Arizona-based home service company, and we helped them improve their website traffic by over 83% in 6 months. Let's jump in and take a look at the numbers. So we're using a tool called Agency Dashboard. This gets all of its data directly from Google Search Console and Google Analytics. So this is live data from Google. Also, everything that we're seeing is talking about organic search results, not paid ads. So we broke this down into two boxes. There's a blue box and an orange box. The orange boxes talk about impressions. If somebody searches for something on Google and your company shows up in the listing, that's called an impression. Once again, not paid ads, organic listings. Obviously, the orange box goes with the orange line. That brings us to the blue box, which obviously goes with the blue line. Clicks is when someone sees you in Google's listing and clicks on your link to go to your website. What this is telling us is over the last 6 months, this particular customer had about 4,000 some odd clicks on Google versus the 6 months before that, they only had 2,200 clicks. Now, here, as far as impressions, over the last 6 months, they've had over 1.2 million impressions on Google where somebody did a search and they showed up in the results versus the 6 months before that, only 258,000 impressions. So that's a pretty big ramp up. So let's just take a look here. If we do some math, we can see that means over the last 6 months, their clicks are up about 83% and their impressions on Google are up over 384%. Those are some powerful numbers. I have one more thing to share with you here that's pretty interesting as far as these numbers are concerned. Here's what's called our organic keyword growth. This is showing over the last 12 months how many words and phrases they're ranking for on Google. So every time somebody searches, the more keywords and phrases that you can be shown up for and ranked for, the more opportunities you have to get a click and a new customer. So what this is telling us is about a year ago when we started working with them, they weren't getting ranked for very many keywords and such on Google. But over the last year, we've been able to really build this up and get them ranked for a lot of powerful, valuable, relevant keywords. So this is super important. Jumping back up to the top of the report, though, why this matters is that every time somebody finds you on Google and comes to your website, that's a potential lead and a sale. And also, versus paying for Google ads can be extremely expensive, but once you get listed in organic listings and ranking really well, those are potentially free leads coming to you in a sense. But why does this all matter at all? Let's take a look. Google released a report last year, and we wrote a blog post about this. What this is telling us right here, if we take a look at this graphic, anytime somebody searches for anything on Google, for example, maybe they type in, home improvement or plumber or electrician near me, that the top two spots, the three spots are typically paid ads. Those usually get about 1 or 2% of all the clicks, so not a ton, and they tend to be extremely expensive to get these paid ads. As far as the next ones, organic listings, the number one spot on Google typically gets about 40% of all the clicks. The top three spots combined tend to get about 70% of all the clicks. So if you're not on page one, you're basically invisible on Google. And you need to be as close to the top of Google's ranking as possible, because that's where the lion's share of all the clicks are going to go. And like we said, the more clicks you're able to get, the more potential you have to get new customers and more sales. We'd love to offer you a free SEO analysis. If you'd like to see how you're currently ranking on Google versus your competitors, just contact us. We'd be happy to share that with you. We achieved all the results using organic SEO, not paid ads, and we can do the same for you.